Hello, Austin here, and I'm just here to share a very honest opinion in regarding to the MCU and its recent Phase 4 movies. So far of the Phase 4 movies, I've only seen two in theaters and one on a streaming app after the fact. And the two I've seen in theaters recently is last year's Black Widow and this summer's from last week or 2 weeks ago, um, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Shang-Chi was the one I saw on streaming. So far, of the five new Phase 4 movies, I've only seen three. Far From Home, I know people talk it up to no fucking end, but and mainly because of the nostalgia of Toby coming back. But well, that's just the thing. I'm not for the nostalgia of Toby coming back. That's not why I would want to watch it. And honestly, to be honest with you, and I know this sounds like an extremely unpopular opinion, I was not a fan of the Toby Maguire days of Spider-Man. So I liked Andrew Garfield because I thought he had the right balance of when to alternate the attitudes and sentiments of Peter Parker, where to me, Tobey Maguire was whiny and Tom Holland is just whinier. That's it. So there is. Um, um, so, uh, looking at my opinion is that looking at Black Widow and looking at the recent Thor movie, I think I think that what should have happened is Thor and Black Widow, Thor 4 and Black Widow be one movie. And here's how. Just hear me out here. And I think Marvel had all the winning factors for this to happen, to make this happen, but they squandered it. One is the fan base of the character of Natasha Romanoff, those believing that she hasn't died, she isn't dead, and they could have played with that. Also, the factor is that even in the Avengers movies, you never really see Thor and Black Widow interact very much. Um, that and also Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson do have a good friendship. Pretty, and also especially like if you watch the video of the playground insults of when they were promoting Endgame 3 years ago, and some of the shit said is like that could have been something that could have been played really well into a Thor and Black Widow movie. And lastly, okay, they also both have good relations with the director of Taika Waititi. You know, um, he directed Thor Ragnarok, and okay, yes, Scarlet Joe, as we should really call her, because she doesn't like being called ScarJo. So Scarlet, so simply Scarlet. Um, hey, she did Jojo Rabbit, and it was directed by Taika Waititi. So it's like they could have been something there. And also too, it would okay for Hulk being in Ragnarok, and then Black Widow in a Thor 4 movie. Um, yeah, it would have been a good trade-off. Like, okay, you had the boyfriend, and now you had the boyfriend, and now you got the girlfriend in the next movie. Bit a good trade-off. And and what am I forgetting? Oh, yes. Um, yeah, Black Widow was in Iron Man 2. That's her introduction, and then she was in the two Captain America sequels, Captain America 2, Captain America 3, and well, hey, just have her in a fourth movie. And the reason why I do say this, that it should have been a combined movie, is that at some points in Thor: Love and Thunder, I kind of just like it got so silly that I just kind of missed the grittiness of Black Widow. Somehow in the theater, I just missed the grittiness of Black Widow. Um, Also, I think being that they didn't, fans don't want Natasha Romanoff dead, and they don't particularly care about switching to Yelena Boleva character. I mean, yes, Florence Pugh does a good job, but I don't know how much like fans really want to see that transition. I mean, um, um, I would say that okay, maybe have in this movie they should have had like Natasha Romanoff be like she's physically dead, but like she's just this malevolent, like spiritual, like ghost, like she just wreaks havoc on bad guy, goes about wreaking havoc on villainous people. And turns out the only person who, and okay, yeah, it may be a flimsy excuse, but like the only person who could really see her is like Thor. And she comes to him as a ghost, and like I don't know, like I don't know, instead of like when Thor was talking to the kids, it would have seemed a lot funnier. It would seem a lot funnier as if Natasha Romanoff as a ghost twirling his beard, and then Valkyrie and Jane Foster looking at him like what, what the hell, because they don't see her, only he does. I mean that too, and also too, be giving that Disney and Marvel seem to want to be so much into social messaging. The social message is like for, in regard to someone like Black Widow is like, well, you know, the like someone like that who's an assassin and a spy is like, well, they don't really go to heaven, kind of like have that, social, you want to get into social messaging, social messaging, well then have the, you know, live by the sword, die by the sword, like, people like that don't really go to heaven, have that in there, um, but no, I think that it should have, it would have bring something new. um, it just would have given the franchise new. I think it would have re-energized the Marvel fan base, and give people a chance to have new, fate in these Phase 4 movies. But again, it's a squandered opportunity because Marvel it, Marvel has gone, like, I don't know, pretty cocky with themselves. Well, we're Marvel. Fuck you, we're Marvel, and you're gonna spend the money to watch us anyway. So Marvel, if the MCU was a TV show and instead of a series of movies, it's like, how to describe Phase 4? It's like when you have a TV show and the TV show hits its fourth season and they start becoming so cocky with themselves, they just spit out whatever nonsensical fucking episode that they don't care anymore. And then once, they were in the top 10 in the first three seasons, and yeah, we're going to be in the top 10 no matter what. And then when they start slumping down to like 21st place in the Nielsen's, then they panic. They're like, oh, what happened? It was like, well, you didn't give a fuck about your content much anymore. So maybe fans don't give a fuck about your show, and they're turning to other shows where the writers and producers care more. So I think that's like what the MCU is becoming like right now. So that's my opinion, and you have a good day.